Yeah, like the only memory I have about when that game came out was I was on a bus and I saw like 5 or 6 Duke Nukem Forever posters like back to back, and part of my brain was like, you need to get that game, not because it's going to be good, because it might become a collector's item.
Mm-hmm.
Like that game could go the Bible game bad.
Bible. Wow, there's a level of that.
Do you not know of the Bible game?
No.
All right, so I'm now going to convey some lore to you that may or may not be true. I enjoy the lore too much to ever verify if any of it is true. So, back in kind of ye old Xbox, PS2 era days, a game came out called The Bible Game. And it was bad. It was kind of a Mario Party-esque style game based around, well, the Bible, as the name implies. And the story I got told about it, and it kind of got backed up by the time, was some Christian organization was like, hey, we're going to do this, we're going to make a video game, and for what it's worth, for a $20 game, that game was a lot better than it had any right to be. It's still a shit-tier game that has, like, put these things in order and then makes the mistake of putting numbers next to what the order is of things you're reordering. Not like not like the things you're ordering have a number in front of them. That's how bad the game is. But so the story I got told ultimately was that the game was not good. And people like me picked it up as a joke. Like if you had a friend's birthday coming up, you went up to the GameStop or EB Games or Best Buy or something, and you bought your friend the Bible game for $20, and you never opened it, and they never opened it. Like, oh, haha, we have the Bible game. Hail Satan, down with the metal. Praise Bahamut or whatever. And word of this got out to whatever Christian organization like published the game, and they started like buying back all the copies they could get because their work and therefore like God wasn't being taken seriously.
Gee, I wonder why.
Oh, and then as a result, these became collector's editions. So like fuckers like me have like 4 or 5 like PS2 copies in a bag in my garage right now, where it's like I'm gonna get rich off these Bible games. And if you go to eBay, there was a weird period of time where like a $20 game was worth like, I think it was like 80 or 90 bucks. And it's like, yes, it's happening. And the organization behind it was just livid. And, like, no one was genuine about their love for this game. Like, I remember walking into a GameStop after they started rebuying them and being like, I want to buy all the copies of the Bible game you have. And the guy behind the counter was like, a wise investor I see. And I'm like, hail Satan. He's like, hail Satan. And he handed me a box of them. And because they were being bought back, they dropped them down to, like, $5 a game or something.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, so, like, I gave that shit out as birthday presents for years, because I thought it was funny-ass shit, and other people thought it was pretty funny, too. It's like, oh, it's the Bible game. My parents can't possibly object to this. Hell, one of my friends conned his parents into buying him the console he didn't own, so he could, quote, play the Bible game on it. Because I gave him the wrong console. Like, oh, you have an Xbox, I gave you the PS2 version. It's cool, I'm getting a PS2 out of it. What? Yeah, my parents want me to play a wholesome video game to balance out all that Grand Theft Auto Vice City I've been playing, and I'm like, oh, it all works out then. Awesome. Hello and welcome to the Wicked Awesome Cast, episode 115.
Yeah!
I don't know why I bothered to over-enunciate that one, but yeah, welcome to the official podcast of Thung Wicked Studios, a podcast about video games? Or something. But yeah, welcome. As always, I'm Charlie, aka Mordak, joined by Alex, aka Mave Online, the other host with the most addiction to Warcraft on this podcast.
Yes. Yes, and the bells of war are toiling each and every day as it gets closer.
Alex, if you're gonna do this, you have to do this right.
Right,
None of this like low-tier hype man version that you put out for this. This is what you should have gone with. Do you hear them, Alex? Do you hear the bells calling us to war? ringing across Azeroth, Durotar, the Badlands, the Undercity. They ring. Louder and louder they grow in strength and size. The cacophony of war bears down upon us. We know not what we've brought except blood and sacrifice and war. And fuck Sylvanas, not my war chief.
Yeah, I'm stoked.
Ding-a-ling, motherfucker.
Yep, I'm ready to fuck some shit up on a new continent.
Is there a new continent?
Oh, technically new islands, but yeah. So, yeah, much excite. That's probably where I'll be for the next couple of days. So if I don't show up for next week's podcast, I'm probably in Azeroth.
Oh, I'm coming to Portland and being like, Alex, get off your computer and get on your computer. We have a podcast to record, fucker.
Yeah, no, I'm super stoked for that. But anyway, gosh, there's so much shit to talk about this week, man.
There's so much shit to talk about this week.
Like, I don't even know if we got all of it in here.
We
like,
did not. I just stopped caring about some news eventually. That's not us. Who cares?
Yeah. Jeez. This is a good past week for games. Like, I mean, obviously it ended with...
Like, this is a good past week for people being like, yo, video games aren't dead. And I'm sitting there going, I never thought that, but now that you've said that, I'm worried.
No, this week is definitely the week of, you know what would be crazy if we added this person from this into a video game? Who would win? All the people who come up with the stupid fucking Goku versus Superman, like, theories on who would win and all that.
Superman.
This is their week. This is their week. So, this looks great.
Yeah.
I'm excited.
I am
anyway,
too.
I was super stoked about WoW, but I we'll get into that. But tell me about yourself. Tell me what you got going on this week.
So, since the last podcast, I think we talked about how my birthday was coming up last week. My birthday has now come to pass. I have consumed a second tomahawk steak since last week.
Good.
This one felt like 40 ounces of meat.
It felt like 40 ounces of actual meat itself?
Yeah, that's what it is. The first one was like 46, this one was 40. This one felt like that. This one was
you don't sound too happy.
This one was much more of a stunt eat, if you will. Like, for reference, in roughly a week's time, I've consumed 5.25 pounds of steak in just 2 meals. For those playing along, I've consumed half of my dog's weight, more than half of my dog's weight, I think, technically, in steak in just 2 meals. And that wasn't even the only time I ate steak in that time period.
Wow. That is kind of impressive.
No, it's not. It's horrifying. Like, we're the first one I ate from Stephen Criff's, I think was the restaurant. I'm blanking on the name. Like, that was a food vacation. Every part of that was wonderful. This one we went to another place that, like, they got, like, fuck salad shirts on and stuff. It's like, okay, yeah, you're trying to be edgelords with this shit. That steak felt like 40 ounces of steak. By the end, I'm like, kill me. I did this to me. This was not as good as the previous one. Still quite good. Still ridiculous, but...
That's... I feel like you're gonna eat too... Like, I know this is gonna be a weird phrase to say, but you may be reaching the point where you're eating too much?
Yes, I have eaten too... Like, so I ate the steak yesterday, the day before this podcast was recorded, and I'm like, you know what I need to do is like eat and drink nothing but Soylent for a month now to get back to like normal. I have eaten too much steak. Like, can you go from eating a tomahawk to being vegan for a month? Maybe that's what I need to do. Not because I feel bad about the steak, because I feel bad about me.
Yeah, you're not ever going vegan. I'm sorry. It's not happening.
I did it for a month to win a bet once.
What? Why would you do that to yourself?
The rewards were worth it. I'm sorry, if a girlfriend of yours who is vegan is dumb enough to say something like, I bet something I don't like doing and steak, if you can go vegan for a full month, you take that bet.
Well, congratulations on winning your bet.
Making a vegan buy you steak is fantastic.
How good did the steak taste, though?
Didn't matter. It was a smug steak.
Yeah, exactly. Something about a smug steak just makes it taste so much
Doesn't matter at that point. You're just like, steak will be on your credit card statement now.
I know. Is it like, do you lose vegan powers after that kind of
I
strike?
don't know. I think forever you're tainted, though.
Ah. Well, I don't know, because they might have bought steak before, unless it's one of those full-time vegan
Yeah, but like
things.
once you like declare vegan, like that's when it starts. Like
That's
it's like renouncing your sins. Like I'm vegan now. This is the new me. No more steak. God, like damn, I lost a bet to my boyfriend. I have to buy him steak now at a restaurant. The worst place to buy steak.
It just makes it even better.
Because then there's other people watching him smugly eat it.
That's fucking great.
Yes.
Of course, something like this you've done before, though. It doesn't surprise me.
Of course. It really wasn't that hard. I ate lots of hummus for a month.
Oh, just you pounded hummus?
And other stuff. Like I'm not allergic to vegetables. I just don't like them as much as the flesh of animals.
I agree.
Yeah. I kind of as part of the birthday celebration, I also went to a place called Donas. This may have opened up after you left LA, or you may not have been aware of it before you left LA. It is a Mexican-inspired donut place, and by that I mean like their version of a glazed donut is a donut glazed with like a frosting made out of that Abuela hot chocolate.
Oh, that sounds fucking good.
It is. You can get guava jelly-filled donuts there and stuff.
Guava bakery stuff is fucking good.
So imagine that, but as the jelly filling for a donut. Next time you're
I haven't
back.
had breakfast yet. You can't tell me this shit.
Fair enough. It's probably the funniest part of my birthday is have we covered. I don't like celebrating my birthday. Like whenever I celebrate my birthday, it's like I'm gonna do tomahawk steak, or I'm gonna like we're going for fancy donuts. It's never like a birthday celebration, if you will.
Mm-hmm.
It's so. I made the mistake, like many years ago, kind of the most hipster-ass thing I've done at one point was I had, like, a fancy shaving kit with, like, the brush and stuff like that, and in my many moves, I lost it, and Jen asked, hey, what do you want for your birthday this year? I'm like, a shaving kit, like, I can't own a motorcycle anymore, so we're gonna get into shaving again, apparently. You know, the obvious leap from, well, can't drive, like, two-wheeled death machines, so shaving. I need to feel that rush, somehow. But so we went to a bunch of kind of douchebaggy, fancy shaving stores, and I knew we were not going to buy anything at the stores, but Jen did not realize how overpriced that whole market was. And we got to the car, she's like, holy shit, they want $100 for a razor. I'm like, I know! It's terrible!
Yep. As a guy who's dabbled in that market a bit, yep. Perfectly aware.
Yeah. But I also played some video games.
Oh, really? You did some video games for a video game podcast?
Yes, I'm still playing that Destiny 2 Summer Solstice. I'm making major gains in that, if you will. I hit a weird wall in WoW where someone put out an article that was like, okay, so you're thinking about coming back into WoW or getting into WoW because this Battle of Azeroth thing looks cool. And I'm like, hey, this is an article for me. And they made the point of like, do you have an issue sticking with a class? I'm like, I do. They're like, pick one you think is cool already. And I'm like, I am not playing one I think is cool right now. You are correct. I wish I was playing Death Knight, like this fucking boosted Death Knight to max level. And I can't quite bring myself to do that, but I know I'll be happier if I just did that. Because dual-wielding Ice Viking monster is kind of up my alley.
Yeah. I'm surprised you haven't jumped further into the Death Knight.
Yeah, you gotta understand, my hunter dates back, God, almost a decade. Like, I have some attachment to it that, like, goes the distance, if you will.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, oh, I should start a Goblin Warlock. Yeah, but I have a Warlock. It's my original main. I just don't want to play it anymore because it got left in a weird-ass spot.
Well, you'll never be able to hit max level if you can't decide.
Oh, yeah, no, I have horrible alcoholism.
Yeah, you're pretty... Well, the thing is, alcoholism would imply that you have a main somewhere, which you don't.
Yeah.
You can't be an altaholic if you don't have a main to compare to your alts.
Is it actually I can't be an alcoholic if I never stop drinking? I'm pretty sure you can be an alcoholic if you don't have a main.
Maybe. Well, I guess. Maybe it's just because I'm frustrated because you won't declare a fucking main.
Just pick one already. My WoWcraft identity is fluid in ways you can't comprehend.
This is why you'll never reach max level. Your only disappointment with the game is the one you've brought upon yourself.
Oh, I know. Oh, I know.
Well, I'll play Death Knights and tell you how they feel at 120. So far, I've heard good things.
Yeah, there's a pretty decent chance I'm gonna get off this podcast and just kind of bend under my will and be like, okay, just make the Orc Death Knight you should have made all along. Like, fuck you for trying to min-max the Blood Elf Death Knight. Fuck you.
No, make what you want, dude.
Yeah.
And even then, Death Knights, Orc Death Knights aren't bad either. They're pretty solid.
Yeah.
Especially, you're going Frost, you said, right?
Yep.
Not Unholy? Okay.
Dual wielding.
If you went Unholy, you'd get a damage boost to your pets.
Oh yeah, I totally forgot about that.
Yep.
Yeah, but in relevant gaming news, I guess, I have been playing We Happy Few.
Really? That game looks fun. Tell me about it.
We talked about the Alex's incredulisms. I kind of said some bad things when we started recording. That game is not good.
It's so disappointing.
That game could be real good. It's not.
The trailer looked great.
That trailer looks amazing.
Great. Yeah. Execution? Not so much, it sounds like.
I think the best kind of comment on that game I've heard, and I wish I could correct the article I saw this in, I really do, is this game really wants you to forget BioShock ever existed, because without BioShock, this game is pretty cool, but because BioShock does exist, this game is shit!
Really? Is it trying to ride those? It has that vibe?
It's very much... remember when BioShock came out, there was a bunch of BioShock ripoffs?
No, actually, that I don't remember.
There were a couple games that tried to kind of do the BioShock-y thing, like there's a game called Singularity, and they were first-person, very single-player-oriented, narrative-driven, like some kind of gimmicky is the wrong word, like mechanic-driven thing. Singularity was time-travel-y stuff. Like, to a certain, like, the Metro games that I love so much are kind of in that similar vein, but, like, there were ones that felt a lot like, what's the game? BioShock. They were very kind of science-driven. They were very the evils of science, if that makes any sense, kind of thing going on. And this game feels like one of the bad ones from that time period, but it's also got some, like, weird, unnecessary survival mechanics built in. Like, your character gets hungry and tired, and if you eat the wrong food, you can get sick, and then you have to drink, like, medicinal tea, and you can get a gun in the game, but as best I can tell, there's no bullets in that world, so you never actually shoot the gun, you just stab stuff with the bayonet. The world of that game is something I think is really cool. The whole, like, joy, downer versus not downer, like, look your situation kind of situation stuff in that game, like, it's got some interesting stuff. The combat is bad, though. The stealth is laughably broken. It's like there's a weirdness where if you're going, like, when you go up a ladder, it fades to you at the top of the ladder, like a cut, like it's loading something. But when you go down the ladder, you can just drop to the floor down the ladder, which I don't know a ton about game design, but I think that means animating climbing animations is hard, and it was just easier to not do that.
Mm-hmm.
It's just not a good game. I paid like $20 or $30 back when that thing was on early access. I don't feel totally ripped off, but I could imagine if you were buying that at $60 right now, you would feel very upset. Rightfully so.
Yeah, no, I talked about that quite a bit, that I was super stoked for it, but to hear that it's like at this level of like disappointing just kind of hurt.
Yeah, and it sucks because like that trailer and like the world of that game that they don't do a ton of stuff with, but like they occasionally hint at some real cool stuff. Like the game does some interesting subversive things and then does nothing with it. Like, spoilers, I guess, like, there's this whole military installation you break into at one point, and you find out that, like, the tanks that are in it are made of fucking papier-mâché. Like, they're just straight fake tanks.
Okay.
Like, your military was lying about having tanks, kind of thing.
Wow. That's...
Like I said, the game occasionally does some cool stuff, and then does fucking nothing with it.
That's a little disappointing that they have something that's really good like that and they just kind of don't do anything with it.
Yeah. I stopped playing. I have not completed that game. Maybe it gets real good towards the end. I got like 3 hours in and was done.
Really? In 3 hours there's still more story?
That game takes longer than it should. Like, there's lots of walking from one place to another. And your character has a stamina gauge for their running. Like, there's a talent tree in the game that's like, okay, this is cool, except, like, stealth is so bad in that game, maybe don't bother putting points into stealth, or put all your points into stealth, because then you'll be fucking invisible. Like, the game is glitchy occasionally. I walked into a guy, and he did not realize I was there, kind of thing.
Because your stealth level was so high?
No, I never put any points into stealth. Like, I've been like, you throw bottles to distract, I'm smashing bottles outside in obviously an open window kind of situation, and this guy's inside talking that doesn't even notice. I'm like, I get it, you're inside, but also, like, huh? Yeah, it's also the kind of game where it's like, it'd be like, oh, don't kill people, because killing people is bad, but as far as I can tell, there's no consequence for killing people.
Yeah.
Yep. Best part of that game is the trailer.
Well, that's disappointing.
Yep.
Maybe one day I'll play it for fun, but... God, that sucks, man, because I was super stoked about that fucking game. I made a big deal to show that trailer off to everyone I know.
That trailer is amazing. Like, that game is bad enough, I kind of wish the game just never happened, so we could cling to how cool that trailer was and be like, man, this game would have been so cool, but no, I've now played that game, and I'm like, nah, that trailer was so cool.
Damn it. I was really hoping that would be a good one.
Yeah.
Really hoping it would be a good one. Alas.
Yep.
Damn it. Who made that game again?
They're new. It's published by Gearbox, the same people that put out Duke Nukem Forever, but who made this? The weird thing is people seem to like the game, which they're wrong to, but
They're wrong too.
Compulsion Games.
Okay. They're one of the ones that got bought out this year by they got picked up by...
They're acquired by Microsoft, yeah.
Microsoft, that's right, yeah. I remember that.
Yeah, I'm playing on PC. Maybe the PC version is bad or something, but I don't think that game is good.
Well, that is... Well, I may give it a shot. I still want to give it a shot, but here's my next question to you, since you talked about this already. Based off what the game currently has, is it salvageable?
I don't know. It feels like you could fix it. Sure.
You don't sound 100% convinced.
It's really bad. Like, you can fix combat. The way to fix it is you make a sequel and it just isn't bad.
Uh-huh.
I'll go back to it. The fact that there's no animation for climbing up a ladder is a weird choice. The fact that there's like a guard that I can fucking punch in the face, essentially, who's just drunk asleep, I guess, or something, but won't interact with me till I trigger, like, opening a door or something. Like, the fact that I kind of physically ran into people on numerous occasions, like, physically my character touched them, and it didn't trigger the stealth issues. Sure, you can fix any game, I think. Like, could you fix this? Yeah. Should you fix this? No, because... like, then you're still stuck with a BioShock game that's not as good as BioShock, because the combat's not great. Like, in a world where Skyrim combat is bad, this game is worse, because it's all melee-focused. Like, it just doesn't feel like good combat at the end of the day, and there's, like, sure, you could fix it, but, like, that's... Like, this goes back to my comment on, like, whenever Jeff would defend Skyrim, like, oh, you can put the better, like, a melee combat mod in. I'm like, yes, that fixes the game significantly, but that doesn't make the game better because that's a mod. Like, it's not part of the game. This game launched with bad combat, and it's really bad.
Yeah.
Yeah, you could fix it. You shouldn't. There's just lots of... Yeah.
I like the concept, like, no, you can fix it, but you shouldn't.
Yeah,
no.
It's not worth the time and money you will waste fixing it. Just kind of cut your losses, make whatever money you do off this, because you will, because that trailer was awesome and people are idiots kind of thing. And, like, just don't.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Don't.
Maybe they'll make We Happy Few 2, but, like, okay, so, like, the difference I would say here is, like, I love the original 2 BioShock games. I really love the first one. The second one was kind of I hate Infinite. I hate Infinite because of the story and the story alone. I found that story bad, but everything else in that game was fine. Like, the combat was good. There was 1 or 2 boss fights that were like, really? Fucking really? But, like, from a gameplay mechanic, like, as a game, regardless of story, Infinite is a good game. I just don't like the story. I kind of like the story of We Happy Few, and everything else is bad.
Gotcha.
But at the same time, like, it's that, like, fake disruptive, like, oh, we're being edgy in society and all that stuff that, like, people are gonna fucking eat up right now and put a lot of time into the game being like, it's not that bad. Yes, it is! You should not be playing this game. Go replay BioShock. Like, I get it. I also want more BioShock, but we shouldn't reward people for making a bad version of a thing we want. Yeah, I can't describe it better than that. Like, I'm sure the Steam review is like, oh, the game's great, or it's mixed, or whatever. It's like, I really enjoyed my time with the game. I cranked it down to easy and, like, ignored all the gameplay and enjoyed the world. And so it's like, that's great, you can do that. But you're changing the way you play that game to get around that game's weird shortcomings. And that game's shortcomings aren't, like, big issues either. They're just like, yep, this game is bad. I can't even, like, wrap more around it just because it's like, no, like, it's like, what's good about the game? The world, I guess. What's bad? The rest of it. And it's not so bad I can just, like, tear into it. It's just like, okay, yeah, the game is a game. Like, it's a 2 out of 5, meaning it is a game you can buy and, like, enjoy. Where in my brain, like, a 1 out of 5 is, yes, this is a game. I would rather play fucking 1-2 Switch for an hour than more of this game.
Whoa, that you calm down.
I'm probably going too far with that one, but like that's
gone a little too far.
That's the level of comparativeness where it's like, oh, I guess this is a game. Huh.
Yeah, you're just coming off a little emotional with saying things like that. Let's not say things we're going to regret on the podcast, Charlie.
Yeah, I don't know. What have you been up to this week or since the last podcast, I guess?
I have been up to one thing and one thing only, getting ready for World of Warcraft Battle for Azeroth.
I was going to guess Huff and Paint. I'm glad you're not doing that.
No, not huffing paint. I may, as long as huffing paint helps keep me awake at certain points during my leveling process, I will add it to my rotation of things I'm doing. So
I need you to get real into that aerosol version of caffeine you could get for a couple years, where they were like, "No, this is terrible for you."
Yeah, I'll do that. If it keeps you awake during the first week of leveling, I'll fucking do it. So I'll let you know how my huffing experience goes next week. But no. World of Warcraft. I'm getting ready for that. Buy myself some extra ciders and beers to have nearby. Everything you need to make sure you're ready for the stream. Speaking of beer and cider, today's cider is Two Town Cider House Pacific Pineapple. Nom nom nom.
Is it a cider if there's no apple in it?
Yeah, it is. I think it's just like they combine it with pineapple or something. But
so you can juice a pineapple. You know that, right?
Yeah. I know, but this actually does have apple juice in it, though. So, yeah. My life has pretty much been getting ready for WoW, man.
All consumed.
The girlfriend is fully aware. I told her that the game launches on Monday. So, as of this podcast recording, it technically launches the next day, because I guess...
This is the last productive thing you're doing until, like, Thursday, isn't it?
Pretty much. Well, no, I may get a haircut after this podcast. And do a little bit of cleaning, but
or the servers down or something?
Oh, yeah, during server downtime, which I'm actually kind of expecting. So, I know Legion had a super fucking clean launch, and so I'm expecting some hiccups maybe with this launch, but we'll see. Hopefully they worked out everything. But yeah, no, I'm just super fucking stoked for WoW. Got my raiding guild lined up, just got to finish doing some last minute stuff. I took care of the things I wanted to take care of on my Enhanced Shaman. like the important things that'll help out my leveling, like my favorite transmog, so I look cool killing mobs. Gathering up some materials and things I'll need for leveling, because apparently leveling up for the Horde is kind of a pain in the ass, this expansion, from what I've been hearing and reading and seeing. So that sucks compared to the Alliance experience. But I found a spreadsheet that's been being linked into my raid guild of like, can I just, I know it's weird for a podcast for this, but can I just show you the level of detail going into some of these spreadsheets for leveling up?
You can explain it for our listeners.
I will. So there is a guy who put together a giant Raiders lexicon. Basically like, okay, this is a calendar timeline of when it takes you to level up this and that. This is when these dungeons, this and that comes out. To go these zones, ignore these zones, do this, don't do that. Buy this much stuff, get this stuff. Like, it's basically an entire... This guy basically put in over 400 hours of leveling experience on the alpha and the beta, and basically used all that to put together not just a Horde, but an Alliance guide on how to min-max your leveling experience, including an entire tab on preparation for each class, things you would need such as flasks, potions, runes, sorting out bags, glider stuff, what mounts to collect just to make your experience easier, add-ons that'll come in handy and things like that.
Yeah, this is extensive. This is multiple pages of color-coded, like, corporate-ass charts.
No, and it gets even crazier. This is just one
of many. What the fuck's
many.
A black market auction house?
Oh, they added that into Mists of Pandaria. So there's a bunch of rare items that you can probably never get again. Very rarely do they show up on the auction house, and people can bet ludicrous amounts of gold to try to buy it.
Huh.
So, like, for example, the Lich King's mount shows up on there. So technically that's still in the game.
Is it like a Blizzard run thing, or is it a player run thing?
Yes.
Okay.
100% Blizzard run. So if there's no players can throw stuff on there, we can only buy from it.
Gotcha.
Yeah. So there's the whole leveling stuff. It explains the war campaign. Like, there's pictures not on top of that. Like, there's just... Yeah. Yeah, it's even like, hey, you don't have to rush. This is to optimize your time. This is what you do. Start here, ignore this area, go in this order first. Once you hit this level, stop what you're doing and go over here and do this. Like, yeah.
As someone who played way too much of the Destiny 1 beta before that game came out, like, the idea of putting, like, what you said, like 100 hours into both the alpha and the beta, so like 200 hours total or something, into the pre-release version of this game, like, props, dude, but also, like, what the fuck? Like, you've played the expansion then. It doesn't carry over, I don't think, right?
No.
Wow.
Yeah, no, this is
I didn't want to judge, but goddamn. Go outside. Don't play video games for a week. Like, maybe take up knitting or something.
Yeah. No, this is
your hobby. Like, it's not playing WoW, it's making this goddamn guide. Like, this is what you do now.
Yep. And so this is going to become very relevant in about 24 hours, give or take.
Yeah.
So it's basically just getting everything ready now. It's even got a daily to-do list for you. Like, it is amazing how detailed this shit is.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, basically getting ready for this. This is what I'm getting ready for.
Choices were made.
So,
yeah.
So it's mainly because we're trying to get ourselves raid ready by the time, you know, the raids unlock, so to speak.
Yeah.
So we shall see. I'm just happy to be raiding again. I miss that a lot. So, but this is pretty much what my life has been consumed by, and I know, like, my girlfriend's kind of supportive in a way, only because she linked me a Reddit post of a guy who had written his wife a letter about how he'll be playing WoW for the next few days and be very, like, almost uncommunicative.
See, I don't believe those are ever real posts.
Oh, well.
I think that's someone being like, haha, I can get karma right now.
Mm-hmm. So, yeah.
You should buy your girlfriend flowers, Alex, or something.
I will. I actually bought her dark chocolate yesterday, so
You should do better than dark chocolate.
She loves dark chocolate, actually.
I'm not saying dark chocolate isn't great, but like you need something for every fucking day you're off on this WoW vacation.
Yeah, I'll find something.
Like send that woman on a cruise or something. Hi, you're going on vacation without me because I'm a monster.
But yeah, I'm stoked for this. This is gonna be great. I love WoW releases, expansions.
I
used
know.
to be the guy, who used to go line up at midnight to buy the expansion and hang out with a bunch of fellow nerds to buy stuff or to buy the expansion in line at Best Buy.
Sure.
It's fucking great. I missed that experience, to be honest with you, but this is not bad.
Now you can line up a bunch of nerds digitally in the logging in queue.
Yeah. So, yeah, no, I'm
How does that work? Does suddenly, like, Battle for Azeroth go live at a certain hour of the night? It's like, okay, we're doing this now.
You literally they just toggle a switch, and then once it hits the time, and they flip the switch, the quests just start to open.
Huh.
It's literally how they did Legion. Legion people were already logged into the servers, and then they just literally flipped the switch and said, okay, it's up.
So it's people, like, milling about, being like, man, I wish we could go fight the Alliance right now. They're right over there.
Yeah. Well, you know what it is? It's the, what is it? I don't think there's, you know what well, I was going to say, like, if you ever want to read some interesting stuff, you should definitely hang out in trade chat like an hour before the expansion launches.
Oh, I love trade chat.
Trade chat before the expansion launches will be fucking hilarious.
Want to buy boots. Just any boots, because they won't matter in 5 minutes.
Yeah. But yeah, this is all I'm pretty much getting ready for.
That's fair.
So. I don't want to go into too much other detail because I don't have anything else.
That's
not
fair.
my detail. This is
What,
my life.
No tomahawk steak for you this week?
Nope. At best, Hot Pockets and cider.
I also had Hot Totino's pizza rolls on my birthday.
Oh, bro, you're killing it for your birthday then.
Yeah.
Actually, did you get my I think I sent you a text for your birthday.
I got your text. I responded to it.
Did you? I don't remember if you
Yes.
responded. Okay. Yeah. I'm glad you had a good birthday, though.
It was.
As good as the tomahawk steak could be. Although, you may want to lay off if you don't burn yourself out. I know it's weird to say you can burn yourself out on steak, but yeah.
After that second tomahawk steak, I'm like, I never want to eat again. I'm done with food, I think. And I had donuts today, so, yeah. News?
Yeah, let's jump into the news.
Oh, God fucking damn it. Astaroth and Sun Min are coming to Soul Calibur.
Characters I think everybody expected. Astaroth for sure. I don't know how
Astaroth, definitely. But I'm still happy they officially announced him, and he looks cool.
Yeah, Evo had... Okay, can we just say Evo had a fuck ton of really interesting announcements?
Yeah, let's do the Evo news, I guess, right off the top. You got those characters. You've got fucking G and Sagat that are out right now. Like, you've got season 2 of what's it called? Tekken 7
Tekken
coming.
7.
It's like, we're putting Negan in the game. And I'm like, well, that's a choice, but okay.
Which we'll go into more in our main topic because our main topic is crossover stuff.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, fucking Negan from Walking Dead is gonna be in Tekken 7.
Sure, why not? Yeah.
Fuck it.
Yeah.
Let's go with it.
Yeah, why not? Why fucking not? And we had some DBZ news. We're bringing Cooler, fan favorite, to Dragon Ball Z Fighters. He looks cool.
Yeah. DBZ is getting cooler. So
God
everybody
fucking
can just,
damn it! I put it in the notes even.
so everybody can just chill, okay?
That'll be fine with.
It's about to get cooler up in here.
Fuck you. Go find a cliff, throw yourself off of it, and die. I put in the notes, Alex, please don't make a joke about how DBZ is getting cooler. Literally, it's in the fucking notes. And what's the one thing I asked you to do this week?
Make a joke about cooler in DBZ?
God damn it!
Hey, just chill. I don't like the cold shoulder you're giving me about the jokes.
I did this to me. When you moved, I could have been free of you. I could have found a new co-host. We could have had a whole new Wicked Awesome cast, but no, we had to make this work, and here I am. Looking DBZ's getting cooler jokes.
That's right.
I need you to fucking King Cool it off with these jokes.
Ah! You joined in!
It's King Cold, technically,
Yes! Still, I'll take it.
Sure.
I pulled you in. Okay, is that all the... Well, yeah, this other stuff wasn't in EVO.
No, which is the most baffling part.
Yeah.
Like, what the shit? We got some announcement for some new cross Blaze Blue cross characters. Good year for announcements. G for Street Fighter looks fucking weird, and Sagat looks awesome. So, you know.
Well, here's the thing. Have you seen some of the G gameplay?
It looks like Q.
It pretty much is Q in a way, but
one of his outfits is Q.
Yeah, one of his story costume is pretty much the Q look.
Yep.
But dude, like, there's some crazy like shit I've been watching some of the streamers do with G. He's legit, and he's like this really over the top cheesy president of
He's
the Earth
fucking
character.
Abe Lincoln with some weird ass gold tattoos.
Yeah, but he's got like finger laser powers,
Yeah.
and when part of his animation for walking forward is he turns to the screen and waves at you.
Like I get, there's a combo. He starts giving a speech, I guess, or something, and it builds meter.
Yeah, some shit like that. It's he's fun to watch. Yeah, I look forward to seeing what that character can do.
Sure.
Down the line. But yeah, no, G, and it was pretty cool. They announced G and Sagat, and then they're like, oh, by the way, they're available tomorrow.
Well, I like how they go with G. Like, that whole little announcement's worth watching because it's so fucking cringy. Like, they have a guy dressed as G come on stage, and I'm blanking on his name, the guy, the head of Street Fighter.
Yeah, I know who you're referring to.
Then comes out with an eye patch. Like, look at my eye! And I'm like, oh, it's Sagat. Yay, it's Sagat. And then they show the Sagat. I'm like, okay, all is forgiven. Sagat looks awesome.
Yeah, his regular costume looks fucking legit.
I never knew I wanted, like, Out of the Wilderness Sagat until I got Out of the Wilderness Sagat.
Right?
It's like, why have you not always been this?
Yeah, no, he looks fucking great. And so far, like, I've heard Sagat is kind of a mixed bag in terms of what his toolkit has. But, like, I've seen people fucking be like...
Like, Sagat has always been?
Well, no, like, because Sagat either has a stupid good toolkit, or there's some stuff that's really gift about his gameplay.
Yeah,
like,
but also, like, Street Fighter 4 Vanilla Sagat was so fantastically broken, that was, like, the year of EVO of nothing but Sagat.
Yeah, he was stupid fucking good. And he also put out way too much fucking damage.
Yep.
But yeah, no, he's, he was it. One of the things that I'll just go on to comment on for Sagat is, I guess he has a way set up where you can cancel some of his normals into fireballs, so he can now move forward while keeping you locked down with strings of fireballs, which is really interesting.
Motherfucking Sagat!
Yep. So, I look forward to seeing how it plays into the meta of people playing fucking Abigail and... Well, actually, who won EVO this year? It was,
Bison.
It was actually Bison, that's right. Yeah, the UK took it this year. So, congratulations. I think it was Problem X.
Yeah, real cool. Real good showing. I really enjoyed watching Sonic Fox's run through DBZ Fighters. I'm not going to lie. Like, the finals for Street Fighter, I'm like, okay, is this going to be good? No, they were genuinely fun to watch.
They were. And by the way, I don't know if you caught the little once they reset the bracket, there's this little bit of drama where Sonic Fox invoked an old
it changed
EVO
sides,
rule.
yeah.
Yeah, that's an old arcade cabinet rule that they invoked, because I guess it's still in the EVO rules, so that was kind of funny.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, it was... dude, did you watch the Tekken finals?
I did.
The Tekken matches were fucking hyped, too.
Tekken's good.
Yeah.
The day of finals for that, I thought, were real solid. I know I have a small Smash Brothers anti-bias. I think not having Melee on that day was a real good call. Was 4 on that day at all either?
It was.
Like,
4 was on that day.
It was the morning. It was like the earliest one, right?
Yeah, but I think there was also drama with that because the two guys that were in the finals for
Bayonetta.
Yeah, double Bayonetta, and then apparently they stalled the match for a while.
Oh, it was
the fireball.
Yeah,
they were fucking shit people.
I went back and watched that. Like, that's the weirdness of, like, hey, these two people are friends and they're playing like a friend match, not a competitive match. And yeah, it's almost as though the Smash community is garbage.
What? Anyway, those guys are shitty people, and I'm glad they stepped in and were like, you need to fucking play right now.
Yeah.
And they played. So, for you Smash players who are wanting to really bring up the community and do things better, these guys are not doing your community.
Maybe it's like you should only have one Smash game.
No, that was the newest one too. But oh well.
Maybe if you didn't have like a split in the community between the hardcore and the people playing the current one, this type of shit wouldn't happen, possibly.
That's true. Maybe Sakurai will fix this with the newest Smash. We'll see.
I still find the fact there's two Smashes, like have been for the last couple years, just baffling. Because no other game is doing that.
Yeah, there's just something about Melee. I don't know.
Like, if it wants to be Melee, just fucking make Melee the Smash game. Like, it's the 4 seems contentious enough that it's like, okay, fine, make it go away. I don't care. I don't think either of these games should be here, but I get there's a scene for them. But, like, you only get to have one. You really only get to have one.
Yeah.
Because you're taking up spots for other fighting games at that point.
You mean like Marvel?
Sure, or like KI.
I would have, actually, King of Fighters is what I would have liked.
Sure.
So.
Like, we had that, what's it, like, Cross Versus this year or something? That game, I guess, has a weird scene going on with that. Maybe it's not Evo ready, but, like, there's other fighting games out there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, well, last little tidbit of Evo stuff. I didn't see the notes here, but I'll share it with you. So, have you been following that Fighter's Edge EX game?
That's the game I was just talking about, yeah.
Yeah. So, they announced a character this past week, but it was also super hush.
Terry Bogard.
Terry motherfucking Bogard. That's kind of cool.
Also coming to that Femme Fatale game they're making, which looks uncomfortable, right. But as Terry with an I, Bogart.
Yeah.
Ultimate Cutie.
Yep.
Or Fatal Cutie or something?
Fatal Cuties or some sort of, I don't know what it is.
If you buy the collector's edition of that game, you get the hat. I'm not kidding.
It doesn't surprise me.
Yep.
But yeah, what else we got? Because that's pretty much all the Evo stuff.
We got kind of two we can lump together some. So it has come out since last week that Fallout 76 beta will not launch via Steam, and Fallout 76 will, at least at launch, not be a Steam game. It will come out of Bethesda's launcher.
Yep, I heard about that one. That's interesting.
At the same time, Discord has now launched an online game store.
Yeah. Discord, I gotta say, Discord, I remember when Discord first came out, because it was the competitor of Mumble. Discord has been doing so fucking well. I really like Discord.
This is more newsworthy because Steam is increasing. The fact that a Bethesda game is not launching on Steam is a big fucking deal.
Well, yeah, because they've always launched on Steam.
And like, I think I've kind of conspiracy talked in the past where it's like, no, you're gonna start seeing some fracturing because why the fuck would you give Steam a cut? People are going to get Fallout 76. It's like, even if the game is bad, the hardcore for that group is going to buy that game day one kind of thing. And you could have all of the sales then.
Well, it's also like, it's going to reach a point where Steam's going to have to go back to actually making games.
I mean, Valve.
Because for a long time, they just haven't. Like, when's the last time a Valve game came out from them?
I got no clue.
It's been a couple years.
Yeah. I'm not sure I know I consider a Valve game at this point even either. Like, if I'm being honest, I'm like, I don't know, like Left 4 Dead 2?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think that's it.
Yeah.
So maybe it's time that they release something new. I heard there's this game called Half-Life that people would love to see, come out.
I'm increasingly convinced you're never going to see another Half-Life.
Really? Never?
I don't think, regardless of how good that game might be, it could ever actually launch. Like, it's to go back to a game near and dear to your heart. Like Duke Nukem Forever was a bad game, but even if Duke Nukem Forever was a good game, it spent 15 years in development.
Mm-hmm.
after 15 years of hype, it is never going to live up to the hype. Like, maybe Valve could pull it off, but I think Valve is a savvy enough company that they realize if we ever made Half-Life 3, it has to, like, revolutionize video games in the same way Half-Life 2 is, and the reality is the revolutions in video games at this point aren't physics or gameplay or immersive storytelling. They're kind of like background tech and graphics and other stuff. They're much harder to do than they ever were. Like, Half-Life 2 is a fantastic game. I'm not saying it doesn't hold up, but it's not as good as you remember it being through a modern lens. Like, it's why a bunch of people that kind of are coming to Half-Life after Call of Duty and after kind of a lot of the stuff that game did that was revolutionary became like, no, this is how you make a first-person shooter, don't have the same reverence for that game that people like you and I might have, because we remember when it's like, it's fucking Half-Life 2. Like, holy shit, man. I don't think you'll ever see a Half-Life 3.
I don't know. I'm still kind of holding out that...
You might. I just think it's one of those ones where it's the... Maybe you'll see Half-Life 2 Episode 3, but, like, what Half-Life is and what Half-Life in people's brains are two so totally different things at this point that, yeah, I don't know.
I think maybe with more games, like big names being pulled out and Steam's not pulling in that revenue anymore, maybe they'll consider stepping it up.
I assume they're still kind of killing it, but I don't know.
Well, that's true. To a certain extent, I mean, you have the free sale stuff, or the cheap sales, but...
Yeah.
I mean, that's a big hit, that game.
Is it, though?
Well, I mean, yeah. If
no, that's not me being that's not me being sarcastic. That's me being like, if you were to actually look at like total sales and stuff, would let's be optimistic, a year's worth of Fallout 76 really matter in the grand scheme of things when like Dota 2 is still making the money hand over fist and other stuff, which they get 100% of the money off that in theory. Versus which is a kind of a split. You're taking a hit, but I don't know at what point where it's like, okay, like EA's been off that platform forever, and initially people are like, oh, Battlefield never survived. Battlefield's doing fucking fine. Blizzard games were never on that platform as far as I know, and they've done just fine too.
That's true.
Like, really, how much does that system need games like that have a baked-in audience when they have everything else under the sun? Like, and it's not like EA or Bethesda or Blizzard or any of the other people that have their own kind of launcher systems, Ubisoft, I guess, for that matter, are getting into publishing indie games anytime soon.
That's true.
Yeah.
I didn't think about it like that.
Yeah. Like, I'm not saying it's good, I'm just saying, like, the options for stuff that's not part of, like, a big publisher are still, like, that itch.io and GOG, I guess? Like, Humble Bundle's trying to become a thing, but they're also just selling Steam keys as best I can tell, really? Like, I don't know. I don't know where to go from here on this one kind of thing. Like, it's more of a, me and you have talked in the past about, like, how I was pretty sure Fallout 76 is not coming out on Steam, and it's not. Like, it's, everyone's pulling away because someone finally realized, wait, we can do this too.
Yeah.
And then we get 100% of the money.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it makes sense if as long as they're able to handle. That's the thing. Like, Steam has been around long enough that they can handle the traffic and all that stuff. I wonder what Bethesda. Well, but then again, Bethesda wouldn't have to handle anywhere near the amount of traffic that Steam does because they have way less to worry about.
And they already have that whole weird like mod buying system thing. Like they have a system in place. Like if you want to get real, it's not on our news docket this week because it's not really our thing. But like they have fucking Fortnite coming to Android now finally, and it doesn't go through Google Play. It's like it's a whole separate like from their website thing. It's essentially a non-Google authorized app on your phone. And that's because someone realized, yo, we could get all of the money from this game, and if we give them their option, it's not that they're not going to do this. Fucking kids with phones love that Fortnite. Hell, I'll be likely to play it more if it's on a phone. No, I won't. I'm lying. I'm still not gonna play that game. Yeah, I think this idea of kind of the centralized store, especially in situations where you can get away with it, like on Google, it's an open source platform, meaning you can do this. Apple, nuh-uh. Like that's a lockdown system kind of situation. It's a weird one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, we'll see how Bethesda handles the launch, but hey, you think this could be an ongoing trend overall?
I don't think it's an ongoing. I think it is the reality. Like you've had like, if you asked me back when like EA did this and Ubisoft was like, "Yo, we're launching Uplay," that was the start of the trend. This is just everyone else finally catching up. Yeah. Speaking of catching up, you can now have Nazi stuff in video games in Germany.
Yeah, for a while this was taboo and banned.
Yep.
Which makes sense considering it's a little close to home.
Yeah, I on one hand, it was something that's kind of like, this is censorship. At the same time, it's like, it's censorship of Nazi imagery. I'm okay with that, I think.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, if they're using it for propaganda, I'd be totally against censoring it, but I think maybe, like, if you're telling a story,
yeah,
not so much. Like, have you seen that, there's that show, The Man in the High Tower?
Yes.
Yeah. I think in that sense, it's, but, like, if you're using it for propaganda, or, like, yeah, no, that's what I actually believe, maybe you've got a fucking problem.
Yep.
I don't know. Maybe. I mean, what do you think? I mean, I know for you particularly, it's a little.
It's if you're doing it to, like, Wolfenstein: The New Order, where you're killing Nazis, fuck it, yeah, cool. If you're like making like Nazi Hail Hitler the video game, not so cool.
Yeah. Well, how do you feel about what is it called? Kung Fury, where you have to fight Kung Fuhrer. Have you seen that movie?
Yeah, I think it's just bad. That's the problem.
What? That was a great fucking movie. Dude.
That thing's just internet distilled down into a movie, and it's like, okay, this is a thing for people.
It's 30-minute mindless fun.
Yeah, it's mindless, all right.
Yeah, I never said it was Oscar material.
It is fucking Axe Cop, which is the same kind of like stream of consciousness, weird ass bullshit, but as an animated show where it's like, okay, yeah, like this is for a set of people. I am not those people.
Mm-hmm.
Like at the same time, like I like Brutal Legend. Brutal Legend is not for everyone. Kung Fury was just kind of dumb. It's like, you remember the 80s? Yeah. How much you remember the 80s? I was kind of barely alive in it, so 0. You're gonna love this movie if you love the 80s. I have no 80s nostalgia. Cobra Kai is the better version of Kung Fury.
They're two separate things. I wouldn't even put them in the same thing.
I think they are trafficking in the same drug. I just think Cobra Kai has the stones to be, like, subversive. And by subversive, I mean, like, no, we're gonna make this way better than the original movie was, even.
Mm-hmm.
Like, we'll give you fuckers what you want, but we're gonna do our own thing still, where Danielson's kind of a dick, and Russo's kind of weirdly sympathetic, because dude is a fucking loser, but we're playing up the fact that he was a fucking jackass in that movie, too. So all you bro guys that are like, yeah, fucking Johnny Russo was the man, you're like, no, he's a fucking loser, he always has been, but now he's like a fucking burnout loser. He never amounted to shit. And Danielson, kind of a cocky, smug-ass bastard. Neither of them are good. Why the fuck was Mr. Miyagi beating up teenagers?
We've gone over this. You just have a hatred for Mr. Miyagi.
I got nothing against Mr. Miyagi. I'm just pointing out the fact that he kind of just attacked a bunch of teenagers who were defending themselves after being attacked by another teenager. If I have learned nothing about that time period, it was martial law amongst roving bands of children was the norm.
Nah, if you try to have an unfair fight, you don't be surprised if an old Asian man comes and whoops that ass.
Maybe in LA. Back where I grew up, that was not a possibility.
Well, you need to expand your horizon.
You'd have some dude be like, yo, you kicking the shit out of that kid? Yeah, keep up the good work. Is he an asshole? Yeah, he's an asshole. Fucking beat his ass. What'd he do? I don't know. Cool. I'm gonna get wicked pissed in this bar now.
I look forward to hearing more about the
Boston
Mr.
Karate King.
Yeah, Boston Karate Kid. Is that going to be a new...
Mr. Miyagi meets Sonny O'Toole. Yo, punch him in the nods!
Is it time for a new character to enter the arena?
I don't know. The trick to not get your ass kicked is kick the other guy's ass. Remember, a brick is a sizable weapon, and you didn't kill him if it's self-defense. Unless he's like super dead, then yeah, you're probably going to jail. But it's cool, you kill the guy. No one's gonna fuck with you in there. Don't worry, everyone's got a juvie record. That's enough of that.
Oh no, Bostonian Karate Kid will be back in a future episode.
Will that be called, like the Alley Scrapper or something?
I don't know. You got it like Karate Kid or something like that. I don't know.
Nah, sadly the name for that would be like something meandering, where it's like, yo, you do that karate shit down in the corner next to the grocery store, kid?
Kid?
It'd be,
Yeah,
hey kid,
nice
you that kid that does the karate stuff.
Yeah. Karate stuff, kid?
Sure. Kid that
kinda
does
like
the karate stuff.
Yeah, I'm really attached to Boston Karate Kid, though.
Sonny O'Toole.
Yep.
We need to move on.
Yeah.
IGN, that's the International Games Network, I believe, is what they stand for these days. I ran into some problems this week where over a review of Dead Cells, they got slammed pretty hard for copyright infringement. And just straight plagiarism. Sorry, not copyright infringement, plagiarism.
Yeah, they should be called IPN for International Plagiarism Network.
No, we're better than this.
Zinger!
We're better
Zinger.
than this. Okay,
Got
I'm better
him.
than this. You are a garbage person that would do that. I understand. I get it. You thought a G looked like a P because they're both curvy letters.
Got him. 10 out of 10
Right.
review on that joke. Thanks.
This is not the first time. Well, yeah, based on IGN's website, based on the SWS website, out of 5, it gets a 0 for not even being
right.
a joke. Just being a thing I tripped over or stepped in.
But yeah.
This is not the first time they've had accusations against them. It's a whole long story of... Like, this is the weirdest part. I have not played Dead Cells yet, but I get the impression it's a good game.
Yeah, I've heard good things about it, but I've heard more stories about fucking IGN doing shit like this on that review.
All right, so to kind of condense the story down some, let's make sure I'm getting the names right. All right, so a couple years back, IGN hired a Nintendo editor named Philip Minuchin, however you pronounce that. Am I getting the right name on this one?
Yeah.
Yeah, and he put up a review for Dead Cells, and then a website called, God, what's the fucking name for this?
Boomstick Gaming?
Boomstick Gaming put up a video going like, help, my review of this game was stolen by IGN. What do I do or something? And when you go and watch the video review and you go and check out the original quote original thing, they're pretty fucking similar down to like someone did a great breakdown where they showed like by the like timestamp wise exact footage and exact comments were showing up at almost the exact same times. It's like, wow, that's bad.
Yeah, and of course even using words that like there's one word that they used in Boomstick Gaming. Was it the quote is Dead Cells figures out an intriguing way to have your roguelike and Metroidvania experience all in one. Blah blah blah. And then this guy, similar line, Dead Cells strikes the perfect and engaging balance between the Metroidvania and roguelike experiences. Like, it even says by focusing on your failures and urging you to experiment every time you fail. And the original quote was, Metroidvania experience, by focusing on your failures, encourage you to try something new next time. Like, it's literally like...
Yeah.
Literally, you know what this is? This is the equivalent of your friend handing you a paper he wrote, and then you just change some words around.
Yeah. Threw some misspellings in there, changed a couple word choices, whipped out your, what's it called? Thesaurus. Check out, what means this? Ah, yes. Find, replace.
Yeah, but then he didn't use a thesaurus enough because you had Metroidvania and roguelike experience. Really?
Well, and again, like it's I pull like specific quotes and comments from articles all the time, kind of thing. I think if it encapsulates it well, but I give credit for it not being my original idea. If it's something I agree with and someone says it better than I can come up with, yeah, I'm gonna fucking try and you give them credit for that. It's a good thought.
Yeah.
I feel bad when I can't remember them, though. Like, it's a small enough industry, even with assholes like us that are doing our little podcast thing, that ideas get shared around. Like, especially in a game where it's good, this is a roguelike Castlevania game. You're gonna say similar stuff, but man, maybe try and make it yours a little bit more in the future.
Yep. And apparently, I guess, there was an update and he was let go.
It's become an ongoing story of like, hey, maybe this is not the first time this has happened, and
apparently they're down to like 3 or 4 similar reviews so far.
Dude's career is dead. This is a career killer.
Yeah. Holy shit. Oh, and by the way, apparently, he put out a response video.
Of course.
And, he's like, oh, it's just not at all intentional. But alas, that video is no longer on his channel. But he's been getting shit on quite a bit ever since he released it, because he didn't apologize. He was just like, I didn't mean for it to happen. No, you just didn't mean to get caught, asshole.
Yeah.
So, but yeah.
Moving on from that, fix PUBG.
Yeah, that's right, I saw
You
that.
right now can go to fix.pubg.com, because if you know how to fix that game, they still don't really care, but you can see a roadmap of what they're working on.
Mm-hmm. Well, it's pretty cool that they have like a whole site dedicated to the roadmap. I'll give them that.
This is the most passive-aggressive, pissy-ass thing ever, and I love it. Like, here's what we're working on. Shut the fuck up already about it.
You know what? As long as they're actually following the roadmap,
sure,
I give them kudos for doing this. Because this also, I gotta say, admits like, hey, you know what? What we've got going on right now isn't working.
Yeah.
So this is their way of being like, hey, look, we fucked up. Let's move forward and try to get this fixed now. Here's what we've got planned.
Yeah.
So I like this. This is, if more companies did this, I'd be totally okay with it.
Fucking Star Citizen does this.
Yeah.
Which is why maybe I find it funny, because like, oh, it's a map. Yay.
It's just Star Citizen charges $17,000 for a ship pack. I'll take a hard fucking pass on.
I thought you could pay that amount of money in PUBG pretty easily.
Maybe. No, I don't. Not unless you double bot shit.
Wasn't there like a loot box system in that game you could buy into at one point?
You could, but I don't know why. That's a lot of fucking money to spend.
I'm not saying Star Citizen's better in this regard, but this seems to pop up in my life whenever a game like gets enough flack where it's like, you guys need to be more transparent or we're going to start leaving. Here's a roadmap.
Yeah.
It's a graph that takes us 0 effort to make. Speaking of bad roadmaps, Bungie got out there and dropped a shit ton of information about Destiny 2's Forsaken stuff. They've detailed how, kind of, if you don't buy the expansion, how that will affect your upcoming gameplay. They've said kind of some of the guns that are going to move up, are going to be kind of moved slots in the game. They've outlined what's going to happen to some of your favorite guns you currently have in the expansion. Some are coming back with random rolls. Most aren't. It is a giant dump of information that we do not have time to go through all of, but kind of get some highlights of it. There's a video for the end game content zone, which looks pretty fucking cool. It's maybe the biggest change, and this kind of encompasses a bunch of stuff. They are taking the currency, some of the progression stuff, the mission structure, a lot of the things that were, quote, new and better in Destiny 2, and reverting them back to Destiny 1 style, which is good, because by the end of Destiny 1, they'd figured out a bunch of that shit. But other stuff, too, like Iron Banner's coming back now in Season 4 with power-enabled, meaning high-level people will stomp on low-level people, as it should be.
Yeah.
Yeah, it all looks good. It's up on the Bungie website if you want to go dig into the details. They're doing lots of kind of in-game economy stuff, which is some of the biggest issues of that game. Like, they're doing away with coins. It's like, yeah, we're bringing back crafting materials because, fuck, I don't know why we didn't have that in the game all along. You have to go out and get this shit now. Great.
That's good.
They're putting more of the grind back in that game, which is important. Like, the game is too streamlined at this point.
Well, it's also supposed to take elements from an MMO anyway, and part of the MMO is the grind. Yep. That's what makes an MMO is the fucking grind.
Yep.
So, I mean, good on them. I don't think I'll be playing Destiny anytime soon, just because I'll be so intertwined in WoW.
Yeah,
But
I'm still plugging away, so I'll probably talk about it more when it comes out. Like, I'm genuinely enjoying Destiny right now. Like, for the first time in a while since Destiny 2 came out, I'm like, no, I'm enjoying this game again. I'm excited for Forsaken because it's gonna pull a Taken King, where it's like, yeah, we fucking blew the doors off this bitch.
mm-hmm.
This is the game you actually want. I'm like, yes, it is. I also got my cool Harley Davidson style Sparrow, so I'm pretty happy right now.
Nice.
Yeah. It's dumb. I dig it. Yeah, moving on from that, Blizzard has gotten out there and confirmed it's working on multiple Diablo things. Not my wording, that's theirs, because fuck it, why not? The Switch version of Diablo 3 is probably one of those things.
Which ones?
The Switch version of Diablo 3 is probably one of the things they are working on. This is backed up because I think they dropped like a Switch logo in Diablo or something. Logo like a couple months back or something. I don't know. I don't remember that at all, but
Oh, was it in the data mining and stuff like that?
no, like a while back, like I think either Blizzard or Nintendo put up like the other side's logo. Okay, yeah, I found it now. Blizzard did this like weird nightlight thing with the Diablo head.
Oh, okay.
And I guess people are like, oh, it's fucking Switch, whatever.
I mean, I can see it working out on the Switch. It's just like, I wonder if it's just going to be another expansion, or if they're actually going to do something.
No, it's got to be a port, like the console version is. It's
Well, no, I mean, like, they announced they're doing several things for Diablo.
Oh yeah.
Could it be another expansion is also in the works finally? Because that game hasn't had an expansion forever. The last thing that came out for that game,
I'd like Diablo 4 personally at this point.
yeah, I think the last time anything came out for this was the Necromancer add-on pack, and that was it.
Game of the Year edition.
Yeah, Diablo's back. You thought he was gone. Joke's on you.
To be fair, that's kind of the premise behind every Diablo game.
Well, yeah, in some way. But yeah,
moving on from that before we get into our slightly longer news topics, we got our first real look at Red Dead Redemption 2.
Looks kind of cool.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, this looks more like the game I wanted Red Dead Redemption 1 to be, I think, in hindsight. You were kind of forced to be a little too moral in the first game, because John Marston's a good guy through that game. I'm kind of digging how our protagonist this time is not looking so great.
Yeah.
In a moral standpoint. And the fact they're kind of doubling down on the moral stuff, I think, is a cool touch.
Yeah. Also, one of the things I saw the internet blow up about in this game was the fucking horse physics.
Yeah.
Like, apparently that's looking really
They were real
cool.
good in the first one. I suspect they've only gotten better.
Yeah. So, we'll see. But, hey, I know my girlfriend's excited, so...
I'm excited.
She's a big Red Dead Redemption person.
I'm excited. They brought back the bow. It looks like you can only carry 2 weapons at once, which I think will be an interesting mechanic. Like, I will be curious what type of multiplayer they put in this game, because they're absolutely doing that, but at the same time, like, I really fucking enjoyed Red Dead Redemption 1. I kind of wish this wasn't in any way linked to that game, but at the same time, like, I'm excited.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
I know I told my girlfriend I'm going to set up a similar thing when this game comes out for her to just sit down and enjoy like I do with WoW. And so, yeah.
Joke's on
I got
you.
WoW, she's got this.
That's cute. You can have side-by-side screens as you slowly fuse to the couch.
Yeah.
Yeah, moving on from that, though. QuakeCon! A phrase I never thought I'd ever say on this podcast.
QuakeCon.
QuakeCon. They showed off that Doom Eternal. It looks real good. Real fucking
It
good.
looks pretty fucking gnarly.
Yeah.
I like the upgrade to the main character's look.
There's a fucking grappling hook on the bottom of that super shotgun. Or it's like a hook shot, not a grappling hook. Like, you can hook shot in Doom now. And there's that lightsaber weapon, and it's Doom. And there's a Gatling shotgun, and it's Doom. I'm happy.
You sound a little happy, I gotta say.
Yeah. As part of this, we got a little more details on Doom. It's got some... They've said there's a multiplayer version coming to that game, as well as kind of a Dark Souls-style invasion system you can opt into or not. I go and watch the full Doom press conference show thing. It's got a real fun personality. Like, there's a point where they stop and go, "Yo, do you want to see this game is like at 60 frames a second on PC?" And they go to their area and it's like, "Oh shit, it's on PC now. This is awesome." But that wasn't the only thing to come out of QuakeCon. We got a bunch of details on Fallout 76, leading me to ask the question, no, seriously, what the fuck is Fallout 76? It continues to still be a multiplayer Fallout game, except you have to opt in to PvP, and if you kill people that don't accept PvP or low level, it's got a whole crazy griefing system, and your levels are fluid. You can kind of change them around and stuff, and yeah, you can nuke bases, but there's also a blueprint system that makes rebuilding bases really easy, and nukes will reset the entire map, but it's not clear how big the map is.
Yeah, it's... maybe it's because I'm not too big into the Fallout games. I'm
Yeah.
just kind of meh about it.
Yeah,
but...
it's... Nothing they have put out for this has made me feel more comfortable in my understanding of what the fuck this thing is. And I don't even care that much.
Yeah.
Yeah. So a bunch of new Rage 2 gameplay footage came out of that. It looks good. There were some rumors going around that's like, well, it's like, okay, so Mad Max happened from, Avalanche, and it was okay. It had some really cool combat, and then Rage 2 appears to be kind of Rage plus what Avalanche does well equals Rage 2, and there's a trailer that basically confirms that's exactly what happened, and, I'm okay with that, because that game looks real fucking sweet now. Let's see, what else? Elder Scrolls Online is getting something called The Wolf Hunter for its next expansion. Let me see if I can get the release date for that. August 28th on consoles, August 13th on PC. Werewolves, bitches. So you will be hearing about this the day that comes out. Sorry about being late on that. I suspect if you're already playing Elder Scrolls Online, you already know about this, so happy hunting?
You don't sound like that. Happy hunting, I guess.
I don't care about most Bethesda games. Like, the parts of QuakeCon I care about. Doom Eternal. And fucking, what's the other one called? I already forgot the other name, the other one I'm excited about. It's really just Doom Eternal. I'm really excited about Doom Eternal. And, oh god, Rage 2. Yep, Rage 2. How did I forget that?
Okay.
Oh, I guess also as part of this, Bethesda got out there and kind of, Bethesda spokesman ramps up kind of its pressure on the whole PS4 cross-play debacle that's going on, because, yeah, this doesn't affect Bethesda at all, so it's fun to kind of get on the side of people that want that. It's pandery, but, whatever. And last but not least, in our news topics this week, we have stuff about Nintendo, aka shit that should have been at EVO, but wasn't because Nintendo is terrible at business. So, literally a couple days after EVO ends, Nintendo had a Super Smash Bros. Direct. In that Direct, they announced Simon Richard Belmont are coming to Smash. Richter is what they call it, a mirror character? Echo character of Simon, which means they're basically the same character, but some of the moves are a little different, and the looks are different. It's a great way to fill out your roster by just basically having clone characters that look a hell of a lot the same. Haven't they always done this, where you have to go through a bunch of the outfits to get there, typically?
No, because there are some characters, like, for example, Chrom.
Yeah.
Has moves from both Ike and, what's his name?
Oh.
The other guy, Marth.
Huh.
So, he has kind of some combinations of both moves. So, in a way, they are their own character. It's just they have little things here and there that are similar, but yeah, Echo characters are essentially similar S characters, but they have a little bit of flavor on their own.
Yeah.
So, Dark Samus has stuff that's similar to Samus, but
her walk also looks different. Yeah.
Yeah, the walk they very much emulates that look.
And so, the biggest news to come out of this Direct is King K. Rool is coming to Smash. You know King K. Rool, the villain of the Donkey Kong franchise, at least the early ones, because apparently he's a fan favorite they wanted in Smash.
Yeah, he's another fan favorite that they've wanted in Smash for a while. Yeah, King K. Rool and fucking, what's the giant dragon from Ridley have been the ones that people have been talking about forever.
I get the Ridley love. I never knew people cared enough about King K. Rool. I thought that was kind of oh yeah, it's in Donkey Kong. Whatevs.
King K. Rool's a great character.
No,
so, I mean, I like him. I like the Donkey Kong games, so to see him actually in Smash is kind of cool. Have you seen some of his moveset stuff? It looks pretty fucking legit.
They didn't show anything for it.
They did. There's a trailer for him.
I don't think any moves in it, did it?
Yeah, you see him attack and do stuff. He can throw his crown as a boomerang and all that.
I didn't notice that.
He's got the fucking cannon as a weapon. Like he actually shoots a giant cannonball. Yeah.
I totally spaced as part of that trailer. I'm like, oh yeah, okay.
He's got a pirate outfit.
Okay. I'm not so easily influenced that that's gonna make me go, oh shit, this is the hypeness.
But there is some stuff that they announced when it comes to this. So they announced Simon Richter Belmont, of course.
Yeah, we covered
Dark
that.
Samus Chrome as Echoes, Key Rule. Stage morph. Did you see what they meant when they talk about the stage morph stuff? It
transitions from one stage to another.
Yeah, an entirely new stage. So it's basically you pick the 2 stages you want to play on, and then you can set the intervals of how often the map changes.
I thought that was pretty cool, personally.
That is really fucking cool. So, and there's one, it's cool because, like, people always complain about the stupid training stage and other stuff like that for some levels. Like, they have that now. And then, you know what? Smash Brothers is there also getting a training stage where you can see how far, like, how depending on how much damage they take, how far they fly it back, all that stuff. Like, it's...
My hope is, like, what's it called? Like, Omega Stage? Like, they have a version of every stage that's basically, like, the tournament-approved version of the stage.
The Battlefield stage.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I really hope that when tournaments start, when we're seeing more, what's the Smash Ultimate tournaments or whatever, they have the stones to be like, okay, we're putting it on Morph because it's the same fucking stage, so it's not the same goddamn level for 8 hours.
Yeah. That'd be kind of cool.
I'd like fuck Final Destination. It is boring, and I get it, it's controlled, but, you know, it's cooler stages. That stage has the DK rap in the background.
Well, speaking of the music, apparently with all the intro music and win and, you know, fanfares, there's over 800 musical tracks.
They detailed out lots of crazy controls. They threw out some very impressive numbers. It's neat.
Yeah. And there's one little tidbit I didn't see on here, but I want to talk about because it was mentioned. They're adding a Final Smash meter now, as opposed to you having to get the ball to use an ultimate.
I thought that was a real cool touch. I think that's like one of the most interesting things they've added in a long ass time, because it's basically a super meter now.
Yeah, every character will have a super meter, and the thing is, you can't have multiple supers on the same time, so one person has to pop a super, and then the next character can pop a super. So you can't, like, spam, like, you can't have multiple supers going on at the same time on the screen.
I kind of hope they tone them back enough that you can dodge them, though. Like, right now, they're pretty screen clearing, and I love them for that. I kind of like... I'd like it more if they were in that, like, Street Fighter V era where, like, you could counter them by blocking or dodging at the right point. I don't know.
You can dodge a bunch of them.
A bunch of them, but not all of them. It's harder than it should be, I guess.
Yeah, well, the harder it should be, I agree with you on that.
They're pretty... We're burning the entire screen to fire right now.
But yeah, I look forward to seeing all these. I'm really hoping in the official Smash Ultimate rules, they allow you to have the Smash meter, like, as a thing.
Yeah, it's super lame if they don't do that.
I gotta agree with you on that.
They are slowly but surely building a Smash game I would watch at EVO, because now it's a super gauge, and it's not gonna be the same boring stage over and over and over.
Yeah.
It's... This is maybe the one we've been waiting for all along, but the Melee fans are still gonna be, it's not Melee! Meh! Wave dashing!
Wave dash! Ah!
This mechanic didn't function as it was supposed to, is something we hold dear to our hearts.
But yeah, I gotta say, it looks really fucking interesting.
Time will tell. It will sell like hotcakes.
Oh yeah, no, absolutely.
Yeah, it's Smash Brothers. People are powerless to resist.
Oh, there's actually one thing also that well, I guess it starts to relate into our main topic. But did you see what other stuff they added from into Smash recently? No. So, you know the giant dragon from Monster Hunter?
Oh, yeah, there's some Rathalos stage and Monster Hunter stuff. I'm more sad
there's more than that.
An assist trophy.
Yeah, an assist trophy.
Yeah.
And you can have Rathalos flying around the fucking map.
Yeah. It's not going to show at tournaments, so I don't care.
Oh.
I love Smash with items on it. That's the correct way to play Smash. I find the fact that that's not how tournaments play Smash incredibly lame.
Mm-hmm. Fair enough.
And like the reality is I'll play Smash probably some, but I'm going to see more Smash because of Evo and stuff, and it's going to be like, nope, no items, because items unbalance the game. But items make the game fun and whimsical.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Cynical? Maybe. Factual? Also that.
Mm.
That does it for our news this week. We're going to have used this Smash Brothers Ultimate Crossover Alliance thing as a jumping off point for our main topic this week. Since this is your idea, Alex, do you mind introing it this week?
So, there's a lot of crossover shit that's been happening recently with the announcement of Negan and Tekken 7, with basically Smash Brothers being video games to video game, which I will reference from Maximilian Dude, because that was a great fucking analogy for what Smash is. There's just so many crossovers, but not just game crossovers. Like, you had games like Street Fighter Cross Tekken, but it looks like it's starting to penetrate into non-video game stuff. Like, Negan is the first, I think, of many possible
I want to know how the
combinations.
fuck someone's like, you know what we need in this game? Fucking Negan.
Yeah, that was kind of interesting to see that was a thing now. But, like, it's... You get what I'm saying, though. Like, it's interesting that, like, you have just... The amount of crossover stuff you see nowadays now, especially with just this recent announcement, like, just makes me think, like, let's talk about crossover games. I mean, hell, even fucking Blaze Blue Cross, whatever.
Yeah, the tournament viable version of Blaze Blue right now is a mashup of Blaze Blue, Persona, Ruby, and that might be it because there's two different personas in there.
Yeah. So you've got that one. You've got the Fighting Edge EX, which has, Terry now showing up in the roster in the same game that also had Skullomania from the old Street Fighter EX games.
That's what that game's point was to bring Skullomania back, but...
Yeah. So you've got that. You've got Negan in Tekken 7. You've got...
I'm sorry, you had Kuma and Geese and Noctis already in Tekken 7.
Yeah. You've got... what's his fucking name? Going into Soul Calibur.
Geralt.
The dude from Geralt, yeah.
That's a
You've got
time-honored
that
Soul Calibur tradition, though.
Yeah, that's a time... Yeah, that's a classic. But, like, it's showing up even more now. Like, so... Today, we're going to talk about crossovers. Maybe ones we'd like to see, ones we've played, ones that have been disappointing, and maybe some of our favorites.
Oh, you forgot the craziest one right now. You've got fucking, like, Dante showing up in Monster Hunter.
Oh, that's right, Dante and Monster Hunter.
You've got Monster Hunter, this game that, like, was kind of niche, and now it's like, fucking, yeah, we're ruling the world a little bit, with a bunch of weird crossovers. Like, fucking, you could play as Ryu in that game with a skin.
That's true.
You get the Shuriken. Or no, the Shuriken is an uppercut.
Yeah. Well, Ryu's appearance in little interesting Capcom games like that, other than Street Fighter, have been interesting because Ryu's appearance dates back as far as Mega Man X.
Yeah.
If you remember that little tidbit. But that wasn't so much a crossover as it was a gun, so to speak.
Well, do you remember the Capcom Smash Brothers?
Is it Capcom All-Stars or something weird?
No, that's the Sony one. There was like an Onimusha battle game that was a 3D brawler kind of thing that fucking had Mega Man in it for no reason.
Oh, that's kind of cool. And then speaking of other crossovers, there's also that anime game coming out where you have freaking Ichigo from Bleach going up against Naruto.
That's existed in Japan for a long ass time though. Those are the Jump games. So fun fact, unlike in the US, there's a company in Japan called Jump that kind of publishes and as a result owns the rights to a fucking ton of shonen characters. They own Bleach, they own Naruto, they own a bunch of stuff I read. The book that came out in the US is a good example of how very different the Japanese manga market is from the US one, and how different kind of the American publishing market is from the Japanese one when it comes to comics. Like, it's kind of as extreme as, like, hey, you've got Marvel, except what if Marvel owned a billion comic book companies that all are doing their own thing constantly, but as a result can, like, put weird-ass characters in each other's stuff because they own the rights and who the fuck cares?
Mm-hmm.
Like, the Jump games go back years. Like, they've had Game Boy games that never came to the US. They're cool. Like this is not even the first jump game we've talked about in the podcast. There's one me and Jeff played for Extra Life a bunch of years back that had Bobobo in it and other stuff that we spent half the time being like, who the fuck is this character?
Uh-huh.
And it was a brawler. It wasn't amazing, but it was definitely a game. Oh, yeah, they're really good games. They're just kind of fun, where it's like, okay, who wins, Ichigo or Goku? In the game or canonically? Shut up, nerds.
Yeah, no, it's just the amount of just I don't know if maybe it's just the crossover has been really noticeable recently.
I this is so follow me for a second. We are living in a post-Infinity War society.
Yeah.
We are living in a point where Marvel has done the seemingly impossible, which was build a fucking cinematic universe that makes 20 movies distilled down to one movie.
Mm-hmm.
And that's not me saying all Marvel movies are the same. I'm saying all the prior movies have been building up to this one movie, which somehow fucking pulled it off to a certain extent, depending on who you kind of... It's a good movie. I don't think it's as good as the entire world seems to think it is, but it's still a good movie, and it pulls off an impressive feat kind of thing. But like we're now living in a world where the idea of having like reality as crossover in video games is not new. Like Marvel vs. Capcom goes back all the fucking way to the arcade days. But at the same time, we're now living at a point where the idea of mixing two things that people seem to like that are pretty fucking similar has been proven to work. Like it's the Reese's effect, where it's like, huh, we made a candy. Okay, it's half chocolate and half peanut butter. Okay, yeah, everyone's gonna eat that. Got it. Too bad Reese's peanut butter is shit, but... So, Alex, it seems like you have, honestly, more opinions on this topic than I do necessarily. Like, I'm not opposed to the idea of crossover, so I'm kind of curious what you were hoping to go with this. Like, Smash is obviously kind of the ultimate crossover. Like, Marvel vs. Capcom was the real big popular one for a while. I think Giant Bomb started the joke about Capcom vs. Capcom being something we all wanted, because, yeah, I'd be down with that potentially.
Oh, yeah, Capcom has a lot of really good franchises they could definitely, like, fucking run with.
Yeah.
But, no, but I guess pretty much what I wanted to go with is we can talk about the crossovers we like, crossovers we think just didn't work out after all, and then maybe, like, potential crossovers we'd like to see down the line. I figured is where I'd like to go with it.
I guess after the success that was Akuma and Tekken 7, Tekken Cross Street Fighter is something I'd be very interested in seeing because, well, Street Fighter Cross Tekken was hot garbage. Akuma somehow works really well in Tekken 7, and an entire game built around kind of Street Fighter characters versus Tekken characters now is something I'd be very interested in playing, as weird as that sounds. Yeah,
you know what? People give Street Fighter Cross Tekken a lot of shit.
It's a bad game.
Enjoyed it. I particularly enjoyed it, to be honest with you.
Gems.
There were mechanics that made it... Okay, the gems made it shit. But if you remove the gems, the setup for it actually isn't too bad. Yeah.
I thought they were baked into the game, like they were a non-kind of excisable part.
I think you could play the game without adding gems to your character. Like, you could disable gems for a fight mode or something like that, which I think would be a great way to go about it. Like, I think that would definitely work, to be honest with you. So, I'm a little sad that it just kind of died.
I feel like there were more issues with that game than just the gems. I remember looking at it once and going, that's not for me.
Yeah, there is a couple other things that I think just didn't work out for it, but they did have one of my favorite little systems was the tag mode with 4 players where, you know, the game was team-based.
Yeah, you could tag in a whole other player who played another character. We talked about this last week, I think, even.
Yeah, which I kind of thought was kind of cool.
Yeah.
So, but, yeah, I particularly liked it. But my thing is, like, where was I going to go with this one here? I think a Tekken Cross Street Fighter would be really fun.
Well, that was supposed to happen after Capcom Cross Street Fighter, or after Street Fighter Cross Tekken happened. Like, Namco was supposed to... That's Namco, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Namco was supposed to respond with the Tekken Cross Street Fighter that, like, allegedly is still maybe happening?
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's never been confirmed dead, just given how bad Street Fighter did. We all assumed it was dead.
Yeah. A little sad that it is. I'd like to see where that would have gone. So
sure.
Alas, it's not here. So, but yeah, that one was particularly interesting to hear about. Obviously, you had PlayStation All-Stars, which kind of was a failure.
That should have been the most slam dunk of games. And it's like, okay, just rip off Smash Brothers. What if we... No, just rip off Smash Brothers. We added new mechanics. Rip off Smash Brothers.
Yeah. I mean, you had Kratos on your fucking roster. How hard do you have to go out of your way to fuck
Did you ever play it?
Yeah, I did.
God, that whole finishing mechanic was bad.
Yeah, it was pretty shitty. Like, if it would have been like Smash where you could just knock them off the map, perfect. But no, you had to have a finisher. So, it made it really, really, really fucking annoying.
Yeah.
But, yeah, I kind of would have liked to see that do better, but I think it did so bad they just don't even talk about it anymore.
I don't think it deserves to be talked about more. I think, like, we've talked about this more than that thing deserves. Like, across the podcast. Not right now, but, like, it's just a bad game. Like, it's got a real bad mechanic. It looks okay. Like, it doesn't even play that great.
Yeah. So, you've got that. I guess if I wanted to talk about crossovers I particularly enjoy, I did talk about Street Fighter Cross Tekken, which I enjoyed even though it was not a favorite across the board.
Yeah.
Obviously Smash is Smash, and that's enjoyable for what it is for sure. I did like the old Soul Calibur crossovers where you had, like, Link and Darth Vader fucking show up.
Link was fine. The Darth Vader Yoda era was A, one of the worst Soul Calibur games, and B, they were both really broken-ass characters.
Well, yeah, but I mean, it was enjoyable to watch. Like, I liked seeing the idea that they were in the fucking game.
See,
I know people hate that game.
I think there's a nuance that kind of fucking didn't work with. Like, the reason Kratos or Geralt work in Soul Calibur is it's a bit of a stretch, but they feel like they kind of fit. Fucking Darth Vader and Yoda show up with lightsabers, and you expect me to believe they're capable of clashing swords? Like, no, you should be massacring these people. This is dumb. Okay, so maybe we can talk about that some. Like, I'm all for crossovers, but there's like you can only take it so far before it's like, no, this doesn't work anymore. Akuma in Tekken works. Why? That game is all about beating people to death with your fists. And, okay, Akuma's got weird, like, palm blasts. Okay, we have a character that shoots laser beams out of his forehead, and Heihachi summons lightning to hit people with. Mysticism is apparently a thing we do in this game.
Yeah. But the thing is, though, like, it also works because you can't just spam it because you can get punished for that. And the thing is, fireballs are some of the easiest things to dodge in that fucking game because it's a 3D-based fighter, so you can literally sidestep that shit.
Yes, but my point being, like, they exist. It's not about mechanics. They exist within kind of the same canonical concept where you have Star Wars, where it's a person with a laser sword fighting Voldo, who's in, like, BDSM wear and has scissor hands.
Okay.
It's not a fair fight.
Fair enough.
That fight doesn't make sense, even. One of you has future tech, the other of you has some stuff going on Saturday night.
Okay, fair enough.
And that's part of that's part of why it was so bad.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's probably the worst one I can think of, just because it was so fucking busted. Like, and it looked bad even too. Like, I know you enjoyed it, but from like a Soul Calibur fan standpoint, it was just, they have laser swords. This is a game about swords. Why? Like, we're not sure how we feel about Taki and her reliance on kicking moves.
Mm-hmm.
At least she's got knife things. Darth Vader just has a straight lightsaber, he's force choking my ass. Why? Like, if it had been Darth Vader with, like, a red long sword or something, I'd be like, okay, this is dumb, but fine. Stupid, but fine. Like, I don't know. I guess I don't find the crossover as beloved as you do, but at the same time, like, Marvel vs. Capcom is fine. It works, though, too, because it's just a straight fighting game, and the art style works for both of them, and the characters are kind of equally dumb powerful, where it's like, okay, it's Phoenix and Dante on a team. Yeah, sure, fuck it, why not? We added in, God, what's his name from Ace Attorney?
Fuck, I know what you're talking about. Phoenix Wright.
Phoenix Wright, it's like, okay, yeah, sure, why not? Why does that make sense? It doesn't, but the guy says objection real big. Okay.
To be honest, watching him fight was actually pretty fucking hype.
Yeah, but also, like, that game starts off at a ridiculous point. Like, none of that game takes itself seriously. It's a serious game, but that game is, like, wacky, knee-slappy the entire way through. For better or worse, Soul Calibur is like, no, we're a serious game for serious people. Except people who play Talim. They're weirdos. What about the people that play the lady with the bladed hula hoop thing? Shut up!
She is kind of cool, too.
She is cool, but also it's like, wow, I made a fetish character. You mean Ivy? No, this one's more for weeaboos.
You gotta have one waifu in every game.
There are multiple waifus in the Soul Calibur franchise. Yeah. Astaroth, my waifu forever.
Astaroth is not a fucking waifu.
You're just not thinking of waifu the correct way if you don't think Astaroth is a waifu.
No, that doesn't fucking...
Astaroth is a golem created from clay. He can be whatever he wants.
No.
Or she can be whatever she wants.
No. That's not how that works.
Fine, Taki.
Whatever.
Yeah, the last big crossover game was Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite, and...
That one was...
That's just a bad game, though. It had nothing to do with being a crossover or not a crossover. It just seemed to not resonate with people, and... Then you had DBZ come out and kind of do the same thing that franchise has done, but with DBZ characters. There's something way more watchable about DBZ than Marvel vs. Capcom ever was. I think it's probably not fair to say that. There's a kind of a crispness and a just people fightingness to DBZ fighters that I think works for that game really well. That the Marvel vs. Capcom franchise has. It's too many kind of screen-filling blasts all the time. It's like, okay, it's just a laser show right now? Yep.
Mm-hmm.
And it wasn't always that, but I as a person who watched a lot of EVO, since I watched a lot of EVO kind of before last podcast and then watched the finals, Street Fighter V, really watchable because you understand what's going on kind of thing. Dragon Ball Z Fighter, also you can kind of understand what's going on just by watching. No one has to explain anything to you. Marvel vs. Capcom, okay, they've activated their X Factor. What's that? Well, it's like a sudden death mechanic, okay, and they're going into Super, okay, and they're level 3ing. That's too many things. I don't know.
So you just weren't a fan of it overall, then?
I liked 2 a lot, but I played 2 in an arcade.
Well, I mean, I think 2 has been a fan favorite for fucking ever. I mean, even, the first ones were great in their own right.
I liked 1 and 2 a lot. 3, I never liked watching 3. 3 was just boring to watch for me, so it's like, oh, it's the same fucking characters over and over, and it's, yep, the screen is full of explosion.
I liked 3 because there was some cool shit that came out of 3 that I particularly enjoyed.
Yeah,
and there were some names that came up that were really fucking cool. And, it also made you appreciate some of the characters that were considered AK, or, some characters that were considered low tier ended up doing really fucking well.
And when that happened, that was cool. That was not the majority of matches for that game, though.
Yeah.
That was a real stale meta.
Did you ever watch a guy named Ageo Joe?
Is he the Hulk guy?
No, that is... You're thinking... There's a couple guys. Ageo Joe... Oh, well, hold on. No, what's the name of who uses Hulk? There's a guy who uses Team Big Body. And it's like Hulk, fucking the mayor of... What was it? What's his name? Fucking, he has the metal pipe as one of his attacks.
Yes, I'm also blinking on that name, though, right now. He's buddies with Cody and Zangief.
Yes.
Fuck.
I'm gonna look it up.
Keep going with your thought. I'll look it up for you.
Okay, so, you had, this guy, Ageo Joe, who showed
Mike
up.
Haggard.
And he was Mike Haggard, there you go. There's this dude who showed up from Japan, and he had one of the weirdest fucking comps. And, when you find situations, that's the thing. I like watching Japanese Marvel 3, too, because they used to have really fun, unique fucking comps. The guy's comp was... what was it? It was Rocket Raccoon, what was it? Rocket Raccoon, Frank West, and there was one more I can't recall off the top of my head. But he ended up winning a U.S. major, destroying people with fucking Rocket Raccoon and Frank West. He was fucking legit. There's also, if you want to watch some really good, fun, decent Marvel 3, there's an old VOD you can find on YouTube. It's U.S. versus Japan, and it's just basically ladder matches between U.S. and Japan players, but it's only U.S. versus Japan. So you see some really interesting characters come out from the Japanese players. Like, they have some really interesting fucking teams. And the amount of anti-Phoenix tech that some of these Japanese players had were fucking awesome to watch. Like, who was it? It was that same one where I was talking about, Ageo Joe. He had revealed some tech that basically hard countered Phoenix's transformation as Frank West and basically one-shotted her, like, if she got caught in it. But it was super easy to lure her into it, so. But yeah, I did enjoy watching Marvel 3. Marvel 2 was, I think Marvel 2 just had a lot of shit going on, personally. Marvel 3 was just...
It had a good roster.
Yeah. Marvel 2 had an amazing fucking roster, I'll give them that. But Marvel 3 was great. I don't know what happened with Infinite. It was just, I don't know, man. That one was a fucking shame, for sure. I wanted it to be good, and I even enjoyed it for a while, but, like, considering that, A, there was no official Marvel Infinite...
I would go so far as to say 3 really benefited from how long 3 was away from 2. Like, on one hand, Marvel vs. Capcom 3 was a super competitive, super in the meta of fighting games game.
Yeah. Well, it was one of the, like, the one of the eternal rosters.
Yeah.
Like, it was all... Marvel games are always on the roster for EVO.
Yeah, and I think it's one of those ones where it's... Maybe unfairly, maybe I'm just kind of guessing at this point. I think maybe some people expected the jump from 3 to Infinite to be like the jump from 2 to 3, and there's no fucking way they could pull that off. And the other issue, too, is, like, how many years of support did 3 have? Like, almost half a decade?
Yeah.
That's a ton of DLC characters and changes, and then you have Infinite come out with way less characters, and if rumors would be believed, Disney breathing down Capcom's neck, being like, you can't have Wolverine in this game.
Mm-hmm.
A bunch of fan favorites are suddenly gone because they're not relevant to kind of modern Marvel. I think it's if there's one thing we've learned the last couple years, that like just because you have a giant kind of unkillable IP at your disposal for game creation, it doesn't mean you can't go wrong. Like again, like go back to Battlefront for a second. The more and more I kind of like, the more I believe the story of we wanted to do a bunch of this stuff you guys were asking us to, and we're flat out told we can't do them. That whole situation makes a lot more sense. Yeah,
I don't know. There was a lot of stuff that just went wrong with that game, I think, but maybe hopefully there's a new one that'll be better. But honestly, considering the way it didn't even have an appearance other than like a side tournament at EVO this year.
I think Marvel vs. Capcom is dead for the foreseeable future.
Yeah,
not just from a people playing it standpoint, but from a Marvel thinking about making another one standpoint.
Yeah, that is a fucking shame.
Yeah, give it some time off.
Yeah, so
let it breathe.
And alas, that is a sad crossover one. But we have some pretty cool crossovers that are, out and about. We've got Negan, which I think is fucking.
We haven't seen Negan. Everyone hyped about that shit. I'm like, okay, cool. We don't have any gameplay for Negan yet.
We don't, but the idea
so we don't know if
there,
Negan is cool yet. Because Walking Dead is inherently lame.
Well, newer Walking Dead is pretty.
All of Walking Dead, the TV show, was inherently lame, except season 1.
Mm-hmm.
Also, it's such a weird pick where it's like, okay, 3 years ago, yeah, that would make sense. Now it's like, okay, we'll see what he plays like. If he plays cool, I'll be like, fucking yeah, that's cool. If he plays lame, which he might, of all the big Evo reveals, we know the least about him. You want to talk about the big hype there? Anna's coming to Tekken 7. That's fucking cool.
And she's got a rocket launcher as her special?
As Anna does.
Yep. But yeah, I mean, when it comes to crossovers in general, there's a lot of really interesting ones that have, done well. So I guess here's my last one that I wanted to bring, because we kind of talked about ones that didn't work and worked so far. My last question to you is, from what we've currently seen, what kind of crossovers would you like to see?
None.
None?
I don't care about crossovers at all. I'd rather just the game be good on its own merits as opposed to wooing multiple people with having we have 2 things you like.
Okay, well, assuming the game is good, let's just put that there first. How many Or what kind of crossovers would you like to see?
Again,
assuming...
like none. There's no franchises that haven't been smashed together I care about really. Like the return of Mortal Kombat versus DC would be cool, but also like we have Injustice and we have Mortal Kombat games. I don't know, Marvel, like a Capcom or versus Mortal Kombat, that might be fun. I don't spend a lot of time really fixated on this topic because like the ones I think are neat happen, and the rest of the time it's like, oh, we put Monster Hunter in this fighting game. Why? It's Monster Hunter. It's a completely different game. Well, it plays like a fighting game, so it plays nothing like Monster Hunter. Okay, let me put that a different way. If you could find a way to kind of keep what makes the franchise you're cribbing off of unique in your new game, which you can't do because some of those games are stupid unique from each other. This is why Smash Bros. Is the ultimate crossover. It's enough fan service to any one character, but they still all play the same enough that it's like, okay, here's your game. Like, I don't know. Like, maybe a Smash Bros. Style Marvel vs. Capcom would be cool, just because I don't like 2D fighters that play the way Marvel vs. Capcom does. But at the same time, that's just me saying, like, I want more brawl-style fighting games.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no, it's crossovers or whatever in my book. Like, Capcom vs. Capcom is the one I'd want to see. Like, more SNK versus Capcom is always a good thing, but, like, I want the weird SNK versus Capcom, not the, like, most recent SNK versus Capcom, but at the same time, like, I'd much rather a new King of Fighters than any crossover.
New King of Fighters would be kind of cool, but they just had one come out not too long ago.
What game am I thinking of? You got King of Fighters Final Fight? Or the one with Karate Man who's got the kind of crazy nose mask thing on. Is that King of Fighters?
That's King of Fighters.
Yeah.
Mr. Karate?
Yeah. It's been longer than a couple years, hasn't it?
The newest King of Fighters came out like almost a year or two.
Oh, that giant roster. You're right. Yeah. I don't know. I guess one that's good, because probably that one wasn't good enough to grab people's attention.
Really? I liked it.
I did too. It had a giant roster. I thought that was kind of silly and awesome.
Huh.
Like, maybe give Final Fight or King of Fighters the Guilty Gear Xrd treatment. That like 2.5D shit going on could be real cool.
Mm-hmm.
Hell, give that to more games. Period. Like that's what I want. Like, take this like art styling or the kind of rotating camera style stuff they do in Guilty Gear Xrd and put that in more 2D fighters, and I'll care more. Like that. Rotating the camera for supers is fucking rad.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, it looks like the last King of Fighters came out in 2016.
That's more recent than I thought it was.
Yeah, actually, the NA release is supposed to be August 23rd, so almost 2-year mark.
Huh.
Yeah. Didn't come out till a year later in fucking Windows, but whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah. I guess since we're bringing up these type of ones, I know you've mentioned it before, but how, like, was it Samurai Showdown is one you talked about maybe showing
That's not
up one day?
that's just Samurai Showdown at that point, though. It's not like a crossover.
Well, that's what I'm saying, having some of those characters actually show up.
Sure! Capcom versus Capcom. Put every cool Capcom fighting game character in one game. That's the crossover I want to see, and, like, throw Mega Man in there for fucks. Why not? Okay, you know what I actually want? I want everyone versus everyone. I want, like, Tekken versus Capcom versus Marvel versus SNK versus NetherRealms versus, who am I forgetting in this? Versus Dragon Ball Z versus, like, Hello Kitty Rainbow Adventure. Like, I want the fighting. It's like, the ultimate answer is I want any fighting game. Like, I fucking want the Salty Bet fighting game to be real and balanced, where it's everyone in a fighting game ever.
That'd be kind of cool.
Yeah. But it also wouldn't. It'd be super lame, because it'd be a giant, endless roster of people, like, all playing the same, because fighting games are rife with people that are just straight rip-offs of other characters. So, yeah, like, what would Capcom versus Capcom, like, a fighting game featuring all of like, the major Capcom fighters all in one game would be cool. Especially if you could have Street Fighter characters play kind of like Street Fighter characters, and other people play their respective franchises and find a way to make that work. But at the same time, like, I don't make video games. That sounds like a nightmare to me, so...
I would like to see a Capcom All-Stars. I'm kind of with you on that one.
Like, a NetherRealm All-Stars would be cool to a certain extent. Like, DC vs. Mortal Kombat was dumb, but fun, and, like, Injustice has figured out some stuff, and Mortal Kombat's figured out some stuff, and kind of seeing a Marvel vs. DC versus Mortal Kombat 2 would be fun at this point. Hell, I'll take like a Marvel versus NetherRealms at this point.
Marvel NetherRealms? Now that's interesting.
It's basically the same idea, just with different characters.
Yeah.
I'm fucking Scorpion to pull Spider-Man's spine out.
That'll never happen. Disney wouldn't allow fatalities on their
and
on their
neither will
properties.
DC. So yeah, like that's the reality of it. But
yeah, we got some good ones here. I think.
Yeah,
they're all interesting crossovers. So yeah, Capcom, get on that. Just give us Capcom All Stars, please.
Or don't, because like you have other fighting games you should be supporting more than making some weird fan game. Like maybe less crossovers that are obvious cash-ins on popularity and like only put out good fighting games from now on.
Best I can do is DLC.
Yeah. All right. Any more you want to do on this one or no?
No, I think it's pretty good. We
All
talked about things that we talked about on this. I think we're good.
All right. We have no emails this week, but if you wanted to contact us, Alex, how would you go about doing that?
You can simply reach us through your internet email using the address wickedawesomecast@gmail.com.
What's that email again?
wickedawesomecast@gmail.com.
Wicked Awesome Cast. Down in the show notes, etc., etc. Send us email. We love getting them.
Yeah. If you have any more beer recommendations I can enjoy while I'm doing the podcast, send them my way.
Or send them, like, malt liquor recommendations. I want to, like... This needs to take the SWS turn. You've been classy for too long, Alex. All this culture going on? Nah, can't be allowed.
I will fucks with some malt liquor.
Will you, actually?
Yeah.
Like real malt liquor, like King Cobra?
Yeah, I've done 211s before.
Potential in this idea.
Yeah, I'll do it. For the podcast, let's do this.
This will end poorly.
Yep. Just like Sriracha fucking vodka.
That was not... That was always intended to go poorly.
And God, it went fucking poorly.
Yeah, it
100.
did.
It really went bad.
Blood drunk. May it never rise.
Nope. And I'm okay with it.
You ever come to LA, you know Blood Drunk's happening, right? As long as I have the studio set up.
I'm terrified it will.
I get kidnapped.
Yep. I have a feeling it will.
Yeah. That does it to our show this week. Or does it for our show this week, not to our show. That'd be weird. You got anything you want to pimp before we get out of here?
A lot of WoW streams coming up in the near future.
I may even join him as part of them, or not. I don't know yet.
Yeah. So, you can find me on Mave Online across the board on my social medias, and of course Mixer, Twitch, and YouTube Gaming. Mave Online, no spaces, all together. Sure, the links will be somewhere in the notes somewhere.
Yeah.
But that's me.
On the SWS end, normal excuses. I have more mobility in my shoulder, and I cleaned out my garage more, so there's kind of space, but the process of getting shelving so I can start setting up the studio is kind of in the works, but not really, but kind of, but not really. But yeah, we'll get to it eventually. I've been posting the podcast to the YouTube in case that's somewhere you want to watch them. If it is, cool. Thanks for doing that there. Yeah. That about us for this week. Anything else?
No, I'm good there.
You want to take us out?
Sure. Cue the metal.